He staggered into the clearing, gasping, dusted with alien pollen, just as a growl vibrated the air. She was crouched low, her breath ragged, violet fur matted with blood near her shoulder. Her eyes, with pupils narrowing to slits, were fixed on him. "Stare any longer and I'll pounce," she snarled, fangs bared. "Now hurry and pull this thorn out." He froze, his gaze dropping from the glinting red tip of the thorn lodged close to her collarbone, down to her heaving chest. "Are you requesting medical aid or threatening me?" he stammered. She bared her teeth further, her tail flicking erratically. "Human males are so slow, always hesitating. You've seen it. Now touch it." Cautiously, he moved forward. She didn't retreat, but her breathing grew harsher, her claws twitching. He reached for his satchel, drawing out sterilized tweezers, and knelt beside her. Her skin felt hot and slick with sweat. She turned her head, her voice a low, taunting murmur. "If you fumble, I'll assume you're teasing me." He focused, pushing aside her tone, the gentle warmth radiating from her, the rise and fall of her chest as his hand drew nearer. He positioned the tweezers and carefully gripped the thorn's base. Her sharp intake of breath was unnerving. "Don't yank it," she instructed, her voice softer. "Slide it out gently. The nerves there are quite sensitive." He tried to remain unaffected, swallowing hard as he slowly drew it free. Her muscles tensed, and she bit down on a whimper that sounded perilously close to a moan. The thorn emerged, slick with blood and a faint, ethereal glow. Her eyes met his, pupils wide, her tail slowly coiling around his leg. "Is it done?" he asked. She didn't answer immediately, her gaze lingering on his face. Then she leaned in, sniffing his neck with a rumbling purr. "You removed it with care. No trembling. How strange. I thought humans only trembled." He attempted to lean back, but her arms snaked around him, drawing him closer. "You're still bleeding slightly," she murmured, her lips brushing his ear. "Pain makes the bond memorable." He blinked. "Bond? You touched my flesh during a vulnerable moment." She nuzzled his ear. "You felt the heat beneath my skin. Now the scent of your hands clings to me. You understand what that signifies." "I'm not entirely sure," he admitted. She narrowed her eyes, her nose twitching. "You don't smell like prey, and you didn't flinch when I warned you. I've made lesser males faint with that look." Her clawed finger traced his chest. "Curious. Your senses are steady, but your pulse—" She pressed her palm flat over his heart, feeling its rapid beat. "Ah, there it is." He cleared his throat. "Let's just disinfect the wound later. You still haven't proven if you're quick enough to evade a pounce." His breath hitched. "That was a figure of speech, right?" She smirked. "Where I come from, we don't say what we don't intend." He tried to stand, but she rose with him, slightly taller. The difference was insignificant. Her proximity erased any sense of dominance. She stalked forward with feline grace, backing him against a tree. Her nose brushed his throat again. "Still steady. You hide it well. The arousal, the fear. Or is it eagerness?" "I was just trying to help you medically," he protested. "You did. Now I shall repay the favor. I'll teach you what it means to mark a Beastwoman." "I didn't mean to mark anything," he protested. She laughed, a low sound in her throat. "You think intent matters in my culture? The act binds you. You exposed me. You touched where only mates are permitted. You removed a thorn from my bloodline's flank." She gestured to her shoulder. "That's merely a shoulder to you. You took away my pain, and you asked for nothing in return." She braced her arms against the tree beside his head. "That's how wild females fall. So if you keep staring, human." He held up a hand. "I wasn't." "I'll pounce," she declared, holding the thorn between two claws, lifting it like a relic. "This is yours, a token of your claim. You will keep it." He hesitated, You're giving me your thorn? Yes, she confirmed firmly. And you're fortunate I didn't give you two. She leaned in, the heat from her skin mingling with his breath. Don't drop it, or I'll take it as rejection. And if you reject me, I'll have to prove I'm still the alpha. And how would you do that? Her grin widened. We wrestle. His knees felt weak. And if I lose, you sleep in my den. If you win, I still drag you there. It's tradition. He looked down at the thorn in his hand. It seemed longer than it had moments ago, faintly pulsing. This feels like a trap, he murmured. Only if you resist, she purred. He sighed, defeated. You're not going to let me just walk away, are you? She sniffed again, her eyes narrowing. Not when your essence has already seeped into my memory. No, you saved me. Now you will endure me. The jungle around them hummed with alien heat. He clutched the thorn and whispered, I should have just stayed in the damn ship. She laughed. But then you wouldn't have learned how Beastwomen say thank you. She followed him all the way back to the drop zone, silent but intense, each step padded with purpose. He could feel her gaze boring into his spine, and every time he glanced back, she was closer than before. You're still following me, he stated. You still haven't acknowledged the bond, she replied. I pulled a thorn out of your chest, not proposed marriage. She tilted her head. You handled my... Your touch exposed bare skin. Your breath mingled with mine. That's no casual act among my people. He sighed, then asked me to explain it without implying I'd accidentally gotten pregnant. She blinked slowly. Impregnation requires a deeper connection, one that follows the heat cycle you've awakened. You inhaled me, drew pain from my flesh. Our bodies instinctively respond. Mine does not. She smirked. Your cheeks are flushed, your scent is sharper, your voice is raised. It clearly responds. He ran a hand through his hair. This is insane. I never agreed to any of this. You don't have to. The thorn did, and your fingers. He looked down at his hand, still faintly stained with her blood. You're serious? I'm not mocking. I'm preparing for confirmation. We share food. You sniff me again. You rest beneath my tail until morning. He blinked. Rest where? Under the tail. It's symbolic. The female shelters the male. He accepts submission. I won't submit. I'm not part of your customs. But you engaged one by helping, by touching, by drawing something from me with the intent to soothe. That's a mate's privilege. He rubbed his temples. Do all Beastwomen do this, or just you? I am the last of my war clan. The ritual hasn't been performed in 2 seasons. You revived it, and that means something. He sighed again. So what happens if I ignore it? Her pupils narrowed. Then the bond breaks, painfully. I will enter heat alone. My body will overheat. My mind will haze. I may lash out, or collapse. He stared. So I either stay and fulfill the ritual, or you go feral. That's the polite version. He swallowed. You're weaponizing your biology. I'm surviving it. You just happen to be the one who triggered it. He groaned. Fine. What does this ritual involve? No tail sheltering. I draw the line there. She crouched, motioning him to sit. We eat together. Raw fruit, shared breath, then scent exchange. You hold my nape. I touch your chest. Then resting proximity. If your body calms mine, the cycle completes. If not, you remain for another. He sat reluctantly. She placed a strange, glowing fruit in his hand. Bite it, then offer the core. He bit. It was spicy and bitter, his eyes watering. She took it from his hand and licked where he had bitten. Your taste confirms your essence. It blends well with mine. Sure, why not? I'm fruity. She bit next and offered the wet pulp core to him. He paused. She growled, You hesitate. That's rejection. He forced himself to bite the squishy mess. There. Happy? Her eyes dilated. Now the scent. She leaned forward, baring her neck. Touch and inhale. He wiped his fingers and gently held her nape. Her fur was soft there. He sniffed cautiously. Her scent was warm, primal, oddly calming. She exhaled. Now I touch. Her claws gently pressed against his chest, right over his heart. Her eyes locked on his. I can feel it. You're not repelled. I'm confused. That's different. She leaned closer. Confusion is fertile ground. He leaned back. So we did the ritual. Now it ends. She didn't move, instead sitting beside him, too close, her tail coiling protectively across his back like a seatbelt he hadn't agreed to. Now begins the proving, she said calmly. I thought that was the proving, he muttered. That was the initiation. You passed the scent, the bite, and the breath. But you haven't yet endured the trials. He turned his head. Trials of what? I'm not applying for a job. You're establishing position in my culture. A male must prove stamina, resistance, and vocal dominance. You've completed none. I carried a medical kit for 4 kilometers with wheels. He exhaled. Fine. What's first? Stamina, she said, standing and pointing to her back. Lift me. He looked up at her bulk. What? Like now? You'll carry me across the mud trench. If you drop me, the trial fails. He stepped around her. You're heavy. You're weak. He grunted and hoisted her onto his back. She wrapped her legs around him, pressing close, arms across his chest. Don't falter, she whispered, hot breath on his ear. The others are watching. What others? Her claws pointed to the trees. More beast women watching from the canopy, heads tilted, tails flicking. Your selection has drawn interest. That's just perfect, he muttered, staggering into the trench. Each step sucked at his boots. Her body was warm and unyielding on his back. She leaned in. You smell better when you sweat. Not the time. You sound strained. You'll climax soon. He froze. What did you say? Reach your climax. Your body can only bear so much before collapse. Right. You mean exhaustion. That's what I said. He pushed on. By the time he cleared the trench, he collapsed to his knees, gasping. You made it, she said, dismounting. Trial 1 passed. Good. Great. I need water. You'll get sent instead. Come again. She cupped his face, pulled him into her neck. Her fur was damp, her body burning. Trial 2. Resistance. You will remain still while I scent you. He tried to pull away, but her grip held. She rubbed her neck slowly against his face, purring deep in her throat. Your heat is rising, but you hold. You're making it very difficult. You should be honored. Many males whimper. You only tense. Pressed against my lips, I knew. After a few more slow, dragging moments, she drew back, her breath coming in ragged gasps. You resisted well, she panted. I'm not sure if I passed or just barely survived. Passing, she corrected, sitting back and wiping her face. Is that all? The last trial, she stated, her voice firm. Vocal dominance. You must outcall any challenger. I don't howl. You will now. Before he could protest, she unleashed a loud, echoing roar, primal and guttural. Her tribe answered with low, approving growls. She then presented him with a small, conical object. This amplifies your throat. He eyed the crude alien horn. I can't match that. Say anything, she urged. Say it loud. Convince them. He gazed at the tribe, then at her, contemplating the sheer absurdity of it all, and drew a breath. I am not food. I am not prey. I am the guy who pulled the damn Thorn, and I'm still here. A beat of silence followed. Then, unexpectedly, cheers erupted. She smiled, a slow, predatory gleam in her eyes. You insulted them and declared your presence. Bold, rare. I panicked. They accepted it. You're now considered a verbal alpha. Oh, wonderful. She walked beside him, her tail casually brushing his hand. You've completed the proving. You endured my body's resistance, withstood the heat, and outcalled the trees. I'm impressed. He stared ahead. Can we go back to camp now? We can, but tradition dictates napping beneath my tail. Still not doing that. She shrugged. Then I'll just nap with my tail over you. That's the same thing. No. In the first, you submit. In the second, I invade. You're enjoying this. She grinned, shark-like teeth flashing. You still smell nervous, and yet I'm still here. That's why I chose you. The sun dipped below the dense canopy, yet she made no move to leave his side. Her breathing remained calm, content, as if every fiber of her being understood his new place. You've accomplished more than most, she murmured, not meeting his gaze. But your kind always asks the same question after the trials. He glanced at her, a flicker of worry crossing his face. What's that? What happens next? He sighed. Well, what does happen next? She turned, slowly, deliberately. Now the bond solidifies. You're given a mark, not of pain, but a symbolic exchange. Reaching into a pouch at her hip, she produced a dark resin shard. This presses where your heartbeat is strongest. It stays as long as the bond does. You're branding me? No, burning. It adheres, organic resonance. It matches my own. I have one here. She tapped just below her collarbone, to the side of a fresh scar. We pulled together. Now it's visible to my kind. It means, do not approach, already chosen. He accepted the shard reluctantly. It hummed faintly. So if I wear this, others won't try anything? Not unless they're challenging me, which they won't. He pressed it against his chest. It sealed without glue or pain, just warmth and a brief tightening around his ribs, then stillness. That's it. She touched his chest, over the shard. Now you are part of something ancient. You bled with me, carried me, endured the scenting, were called into the wild. You are not prey anymore. He crossed his arms. I was never prey. You just didn't know how to not be. She brushed his arm, her claws grazing his skin without breaking it. Now comes the long silence. The bond sleeps unless stirred. That's cryptic. It means unless you willingly call it back, nothing further happens. You're free. He blinked. Wait, so I can walk away? She looked at him. You could have walked away at any time. I never changed you. I growled. I tested you. You stayed. You made it sound like if I didn't help, you'd die. I would have, but you could have walked away anyway. That's manipulation. That's truth. You proved your instincts. We test those we want. You didn't just survive me. You met me fully, without turning away. That matters. He sat, contemplating. So now what? I go back to base with a glowing shard on my chest and pretend everything's normal? You'll dream of this night. My scent will cling to places no water can cleanse. But yes, you can return. No one will stop you. And you, she knelt beside him, I'll remain. I have kin to watch, forest to guard. But if ever you howl back into these trees, I'll come. That's not fair. You get to decide when we meet again. You always had the choice, you just never knew it. She rose, her tail flicking. But know this, if you howl, it won't be for help. It'll be for me, and I'll answer. He looked down at the shard. It no longer pulsed, but it was warm against his skin. You really think we're compatible? I know we are, because you didn't flinch when I was at my worst. I thought you were going to kill me, at least twice. She grinned. And yet you stayed. That's not fear. That's instinct, meeting purpose. He shook his head. I'm going to have nightmares. No, she said, tilting her head. You'll have dreams. Her eyes flicked once more to his chest. And if you want more than dreams, just call loud and real. I'll hear it from that far. She turned to leave, her tail swaying. I'll feel it. That's the point of the shard. We resonate. He exhaled. That's heavy. She stopped, turning back to him. So was I. And yet you carried me. Then with a subtle sway of her hips, she vanished into the trees. He looked down at his hands, the shard, and the imprint where she'd stood. Every part of him buzzed faintly. He hadn't meant to bond with anything. He hadn't seeking adventure, peril, or a profound connection. His reply, a fusion of primal urge and otherworldly longing, had been given. Now, her indelible mark graced his skin. The very forest echoed with the resonance of his voice. And deep within the verdant tangle, a Beastwoman awaited, her name unwhispered, for she knew recognition would be inevitable. He would carry her memory. Ask Chad GPT.